Hi Flosstube, welcome to my channel, the Minigame Stitcher. I am here today with a whip parade. So yeah, first I have some things that I like to say before I get into it all. I think I have like 56, 58 whips, maybe more, maybe less, I don't keep count. But some things first. First of all, thank you so much if you are a return viewer. I really appreciate it. Also, thank you for coming in here if you are new. Yeah, it's going to be a great day today, I hope. There are some things, as I said, I want to say. I haven't told this on my channel before, but I have rheumatism, and a lot of it is in my jaw. That means that if I speak too much over a short period of time, or chew a lot or stuff like that, I can't eat solid food. That means that I might go through some of my projects a bit fast. That is just to save my jaw from pain. I also have fibro, and that might make me, that's a pain diagnosis essentially, and so those two combined isn't really fun. But it might be that I'm a bit shaky, or that my energy in the end of this might not be as energetic as I would like it to be, but I hope that you can understand why. Yeah, it's just the way it is. Also, if you hear any background noises, I do have a dog. That's my ring on the table, I'm sorry. I do have a dog that might, sigh and make noises and go back and forth in the background and stuff like that. And you will see her face later on in this video. And also, outside, they have decided to build a completely new block of houses. And they are in the, let's put all of the rubble where it should be, like in the process. So there are like so many heavy machinery out there that makes a lot of noises, and I am very sorry about that. That said, yeah, maybe I should introduce myself a little bit for anyone that is new. Like, okay, here is all the heavy stuff. But yeah, my name is Sophia, and this is the channel Minigame Stitcher, and the reason for that is because I love to stitch mini hates, and I love gaming stuff. I have, like I said, my dog is going to make noises, but I have a lot of mini hates, and I have a lot of more hates, mini hates planned to start, and a lot more gaming stuff as planned starts. So yeah, hopefully you like full coverage. That's all I can say. Let's get into it. This is the second whip parade this year, and since the last one I have had 6 finishes, so I thought I could show those first. Let's start with the most recent ones. I didn't film in May and in June because of my illnesses. Kind of have been bad. They are still bad. But yeah, but this one I have finished since then. So I finally bit the bullet and finished Piglet. Like Piglet Honey. It is a kit that I bought, and all of these Winnie the Pooh series ones they have a lot of quarter stitches. Like, I don't know if you will be able to see, but like all of the diagonal lines with back stitch, beside all of those there are 2 quarter stitches. Like, they are everywhere. Like, he taught them. The flowers was a lot. The bees, I don't want to go into the bees. There is not one full cross in those bees. Like, oh my god. But it is done. Finally done. So I'm really, really happy with that. And when I was on that, I need to finish these. They have linked too long. I don't want to stitch them, but I don't want to have them like as a whip. So I finished Tigger's Honey as well. Same thing here. So many quarter stitches, but he is done. The stripes. Like, I told Becky and Nana about this, but imagine parents buying these kits for kids, and the kids have, they are advanced, really advanced. There are so many quarter stitches, as I say, and a lot of the flosses look kind of the same because you need to sort them out yourself. And all the backstitch and the pattern isn't that easy to read. Like, imagine being a kid and having this one as your first kit. I feel so sorry for any child that gets this at Christmas. Don't give this to your children at Christmas. But it is done. And both of those are on 16 count Ada, I believe, like the kit Ada. Yeah. I also finished this one. This one is Pooh's Honey. This one, the person I bought it from had stitched like everything down to here, and I think I know why she stopped. Because if you look at this honey pot, you see it is tan and brown, and the colors are supposed to be the opposite, but she stopped when she got there. So I think she didn't want to frog and kind of was had enough of all the quarter stitches and sold them all instead. And me being kind of I don't want to stitch them either. They are, as I said, they are not fun, and I am frogging quarter stitches, and you will see that in a bit. Yeah, so I just went with it and stitched that pot the opposite way. So that is Pooh's Honey. And I can see my camera blinking a bit. I am sorry, I've done everything I can to make it not do that. Like, that's why it's such a boring background, because my camera, if I sit in my chair where I want to film, it blinks even more. Yeah, and I know that it looks like the curtain isn't fully drawn. It is fully drawn. So, but yeah, I can try to fix it a little bit more. Hang on. And we're back. Hopefully that works. I don't know. Anyway, let's continue. So the next finish, I do notice that all of my finishes in the opposite odd order as when I finished them, because those three were the most recent one, and this is like the fourth most recent one. But this is Vivi, and it was a pattern I got from Etsy, and here he is. This is 18 count printed Ada that I also got from Etsy. If anyone is interested, I will let you know the shop's name later on in the video, because I have 2 more projects that are from that shop, that has fabric from that shop. But here he is, and this is so much confetti. So, but yeah, he looks kind of good. I was a bit mad when I first finished it, because I don't know if you can see, but everything has this white outline, and I believe that is the person that made the pattern just putting the image in a pattern program and said, okay, that's fine. So there are a lot of like, you need 1 stitch in this color and 1 stitch in that color, and it doesn't make sense. But he is done, nonetheless. So that is Vivi. Just going to put all of these on this chair instead in front of the camera. Okay, next up, this is Despite Everything, It's Still You. I know it's mirrored for you, but it says Despite Everything, It's Still You. And this was deeply personal to me. This is an image from Undertale. And to me, it was that I have gone through a lot of things the last 2 years with the diagnoses that I have, and all of that stuff, trying to recover and everything. And you know, when you are in pain a lot, your mental health gets affected by that. And despite that, I still feel that I am still myself in a way. So that's why I stitched this, because despite everything that has happened, I'm still me. And that's a good thing, I hope. I think it is a good thing. But yeah. This is stitched on an 18 count white Ada from Swagat using CXC floss. Vivi is also with CXC floss. Most of my projects are with CXC floss or the kit floss. And I believe it is, no, this one is stitched with DMC, I'm sorry. That one is DMC. I have 2 more projects that are stitched with DMC that I've kitted up myself, but I live in Norway and floss costs $2.2 if the exchange rate is 1 to 10, which it was when I was a kid. Yeah, so kitting up a Hade is like $200 in DMC and $30 in CXC or something like that. It's ridiculous how much cheaper CXC floss is compared to DMC here. So that's why my projects are in CXC, because I can't afford DMC for all of my projects. Okay, the first finish of this year, anyway, was 1994 Prairie sampler. This sampler I won in a giveaway from Vicky, the stitching button here on Flosstube. Yeah, I have given the pattern to Nana already, so she can stitch it. And the reason why I think she wants to stitch it is because of this derpy dog. Like, it's so derpy. I don't know. I was laughing so much when I stitched this. Like, it looks so... Anyway, and I've also, in this pattern, there are some minor customizations, like a stitch here and there that isn't as the pattern says. And also I have changed the which letters are in different colors. So it is, yeah, it spells my name instead, Sofia, Sophia. So yeah, but there it is. Yeah, and this is also customized. So these are my initials and that's my husband's initial. We don't share the same name, but we're still married. So yeah, and this is, I believe it is 32 count Belfast linen. Okay, that was all of the finishes that I have had so far this year. And now we are going to get into the whip pile. And these are in no particular order except for the first one because it's the biggest one and I want it off my table as soon as possible because it's huge. But other than that, it's no particular order. So the first one I'm going to show you is Snow Much Fun. It is a kit, and if you're interested in finding it, just comment down below and I will find all the information you need. That goes for everything. If you want information of something and I don't tell you, just let me know. And for some reason YouTube have decided to close down my comment section a few times and I don't know why. But if it has, I am on Instagram as well as Minigame Stitcher. But yeah, so this is not much fun. It is, as you can see, a Christmas tree rug with like snowman. And it is stitched on a 9 count Aida. And I have done like 1.5 of the motifs. It isn't that much stitching. Let me see if I can fold this up a little bit more. It isn't that much stitching, but because it is so big, it is quite hard for me to hold it with my hands. And it is quite warm to sit under, so I won't be stitching this summer, let's just put it that way, because we have a heat wave here. But yeah, so it's the bottom motif here, and this one is one with a dog, I think. But yeah, that is that one. And now the rest is in no particular order. I just wanted to get rid of like the rug. Okay, first one is Mini Fairy Book, and the artist is Nadia Strelkina, and it is charted by Heaven and Earth Design. This is what the design is going to look like when it's finished. Really love this. There is someone on Instagram that is stitching this as the full size, and she is stitched from the bottom up, and the dragon in the bottom, like this dragon here, looks amazing, and that is what made me want to stitch this. So here I am. This is my progress. So I started in the top left corner. I know it's backwards for you, but it is the top left corner for me. And as you can see, I am a cross-country stitcher. So I just started somewhere and then I go wherever I feel like. So here is the castle coming in, the wing, one of the faces, and I'm stitching down so that I can start stitching on the dragon as soon as possible. 18 count Aida with CXC floss. Next up is Mini What Lies Beneath, and it is by Dakota Detweiler. This pattern I also have the full size for, but I'm not sure if I will ever stitch it, just because it is so big and it will get hard for me to hold it, because I stitch in hand with the sewing method. So holding large pieces of fabric is quite bad for me. But this is the mini version, and I started in the top left. And here is my progress on this one. So I started up, as I said, and started going that way and got a bit tired of the checkerboard. So I went down and hit confetti. Didn't know how to handle that confetti because I didn't have something to anchor my floss in on the back. I used the loop method to start, but I need something to anchor the floss in the back. And when I just have like 4 stitches in one color in that area, it is kind of hard to and make it look nice and not 3D with the back being so thick. So I went into this instead and hit the same thing, like so much confetti. So this one I am not stitching all that much on because I need to figure out a way to handle the confetti with my stitching method. I'm not a big fan of parking. I have one thread parked in one project, and there's a reason for that, but we will get into that soon. But yeah, this is Mini What Lies Beneath by Dakota Detweiler, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. 18 count, white Aida, CXC floss. Next up is Mini Dandelion by Ash Evans. Here he is, so cute. Really love this image. Just so cute. And this is where I am on that one. And with this one, I got bored of background. I know that I will pick it up again soonish, but it is kind of demotivating to know that the fox starts like here, in the bottom of the first page. So yeah, I have a long way of background before I can get to something more interesting than grays and blues and purples. But it will look good. Okay. My parked thread came quite a lot sooner than I expected. Okay, so sorry about my stomach if you can hear it. This is the next one because I finished, as I showed you earlier, I finished that one, and that one. This is just a placeholder image for me to know that I have a whip with a lot of the Winnie the Pooh characters. Mine is Friendly Frogs, but I can't find an image for it online, and so I just have a placeholder. But the whip I'm going to show you is Eeyore's Honey, and Eeyore is my favorite Winnie the Pooh character. He has a vibe. I know he's kind of depressed and sad and all that things, but he is kind, and people kind of misunderstand him a bit, I think. And yeah, I just love Eeyore. And so here is my part thread. Let's see if I can get it out of the way here. Now, I had a middle start on this one, and so I stitched my rows as I do. Up. Came to the last one and realized it is one short. So I need to go back and fill in one stitch here. The problem with that is that all of it is quarter stitches. So there are quarter stitches everywhere along the hillside. And I'm not frogging quarter stitches. I'm not frogging all of this because the way I've stitched it is like back and forth, right? So for me, in order for me to frog all of those quarter stitches out, I need to rip out everything, and I am not doing that. So instead what I'm going to do is that I am going to stitch over them, just normal crosses, and then go quarter stitches beside them, and I think that will be fine. But I don't want to do that right now. But here is Eeyore, and he looks a bit scary with his eyes not filled in, but that's okay. I know he will look fine when he's done. I might actually need to pause and get something to eat. 1 second. Sorry about that. This whip parade, I wasn't planning on filming today, but someone said, oh, I just filmed my whip parade, and I thought, well, I'm not getting any better, so I might as well do that too. So it is kind of a spontaneous whip parade. I was going to film one in the start of June, but maybe not today. But I am not as organized as I thought I would be when I did this. Okay, let's continue. I am so sorry about all the interruptions. Hopefully that was the last one. Next one I have is Lynx. This is a pattern from Permin of Copenhagen. It is my oldest whip by, I believe I started this in 2013, 14, so it's 9 years old. It can even be older than that. It is still available, I think, and they have like a whole series of these black and white animals with really bright orange eyes. I know they have an owl that I've stitched, and I think there is a bear and a moose as well, but this is the Lynx, and this is where I'm at with this one. So I've stitched all the fun parts, as you can see. I've stitched the eyes, and the rest of it is just 9 shades of grey, white and black. there it is. 14 count, white Permin Ada, I suppose, because Permin makes their own Ada, so it would be weird if it wasn't their own in their kit. But there he is, the oldest whip, and I have no desire of ever finishing him, sadly. Oh boy, he is nothing wrong with him. It's just that I'm not in the mood for like fur stitching on this one. Like, my tastes have changed so much since when I started this and where I am now in what I like to stitch. I like my big beautiful images of things, not lynxes. But there he is. Okay, next up is, this is also an Permin of Copenhagen. It is called Drømträdgården, or translated Dream Garden. And this is what it's going to look like. And I don't know if you can see it, but that hat and the shovel and all of the tools are things that you actually put into the frame and stitch. That the hat you stitch on is like a charm, kind of. And this kit came with the frame and everything that you needed to do this. So I have started it. I think it is this way. And I did try to do like 1 thread, 100 stitches a day on this. 2 threads. Anyway, I tried to stitch 100 stitches on this every day. And I kept up with it for 2 days, realized that I have stitched the wrong color, had to frog it for 2 days, and didn't pick it up. But that's just how it goes sometimes, you know. It isn't easy all the time, but yeah, this one is not a priority, let's say. But there it is, 14 count, like a cream Ada. I know it looks white, but it's more cream color. But there it is. Next up is Santa's Midnight Ride. This is a kit from Dimensions. Looks like this. And it is stitched on, I think it is 16 count, like a marine navy Ada. And I am stitching it as Dimensions instruct me to do. So there are half crosses, 2 strands, 3 strands, 1 strand. You know how these are. Let's see, it's kind of see-through. Let's see, I'll put a picture, paper behind it. Bit better. So that is that. He will look really good when it's done. It's just, I'm not a kind of a Christmas stitcher. I know a lot of people love to stitch Christmas things and Christmas themed things. I'm not one of those, but I like to have some Christmas stuff that, like, when I feel to stitch Santas and all of that, I can. And that is usually in the summer when it's the most hot outside. I stitch my wintry projects. Yeah. Next one is Central Park in the Fall. This is by Thomas Kincaid, and I know you can get this on Heaven and Earth Design, but that is not what I have. I have a kit, a legit kit. I don't know the company name off the top of my head, but here I am on it. And the reason why I haven't stitched more on this is because this kit came with a type of blending filament. It wasn't 032, which is the most common one, I believe, but it came with a pearlescent kind of plastic thing that just unfolded on its own, and I I wasn't looking forward to stitching on it, even though it is just in the lamps and all of that. So I went into my local sewing store and asked, is there any floss, any thread, anything that you have that might be able to replace this? And she looked everywhere, like everywhere, in all of her association stores, everything. She looked for, like, I think it was 2 weeks, and she looked and looked and looked, and she came back to me and said, no, there is nothing that looks like this floss anywhere to find. But I have bought a couple of different ones that I think that you might be able to use, and one of them was like kind of like a sulky, glittery sulky in jello, and I thought, well, might as well. It's better than the one that came with a kit. So it is more likely that I will stitch on this in the future, knowing that I have a floss that won't be as much of a nightmare to stitch with as the filament. But yeah, here I am. This is on 16 count white Ada that came with a kit. And yeah. Next up is my one and only long dog sampler. This is You Belong to Me. And I am stitching this in 3808 on 18 count white Ada. This is with DMC. I am also using like the DMC metallics, like the bronze metallic. Yeah, so I am done with the first row of pages out of 3 rows of pages and started on the second row. But yeah, it looks good. And my plan is crazy, but you see all of the motifs inside of the buildings. I might be planning to fill all of this in with DMC bronze. Yeah, I know, kind of crazy. It's like tens of thousands of stitches in DMC metallics, but I think it will look good. I think the bringing up will be good. But there it is. Really happy with it. Just a warning, if you buy this pattern from Long Dog Samplers and you put it into Pattern Keeper, it won't work. If you put in the correct amount of squares that are, you know, like the shadowy ones, the overlap in the pattern, if you put in the correct amount, you will lose one column in the pattern. So you will be missing one stitch in between each of the page breaks. And if you try to then change it so that you have one more as more than the overlap one, you will get a double row instead. So you will have like, if like in this row, the neck will be one row longer and the palm tree would be like one more, and yeah, it won't be correct no matter what you do. So what I have done is that I have taken pictures of every page. I printed out the pages, took a picture of everything, and then I put it into Pattern Keeper using, you know, when you put patterns into Pattern Keeper, you can choose between from a PDF or from camera. And if you pick the from camera option, you can then insert the pages like that. You can't search for the symbols, but you can mark things off. And that is what I have done with all of my paper patterns. So I know how many stitches I have left on every kit pattern that I have. And I know how many stitches I have stitched because of that on them. As I said, it takes some time to do it, and you can't search for symbols, but you can mark things off. And for me, that is huge. To not sit and, you know, have like 4 pages, right? When you stitch like in between 4 pages in that corner, to not need to sit with 4 pieces of paper in front of me and trying to mark off and try to line everything up and stuff like that. All of that is in the app, and I really like that. So it saves me a lot of hassle with the papers, and a lot of, you know, I use permanent markers to mark things off on papers, and not needing to do that is also really good, you know. Put the top on and taking it off and then stitch them and then, you know, bring up the pen. Yeah, so highly recommend. And I know someone asked me about it in one of my previous videos, and I hope that I explained it well enough in the comments. If not, please reach out to me again. That video was the one where YouTube decided to close down my comment section for some unknown reason. I had to open it up twice, and yeah, kind of annoying. But if you have any questions about it, I'm more than happy to help. And yeah, just let me know. Okay, next up we have this whip. This is called Animal Collage, or it isn't called that really, because this is a China kit, or a kit from China. And it was, as I said in my previous 2 whip raids, it was before I knew about copyrights and before I knew about all of that stuff. And I own it, I'm going to stitch it, but it's not something that I am focusing on anyway. And yeah, but I have it. And this one, I have 3 of those kits. And this one is the one that I have gotten the furthest up. So here it is. I am almost halfway done. I probably am more than halfway done, but yeah. And so let me bring it closer. So here we are with the monkeys and animals and squirrels and everything. I love that fox. He looks like he's seen some stuff that he shouldn't have seen. That is what I have left. So this is 11 counts Ada using 3 strands of floss. There it is. And next one is also a kit from China. This is, I'm calling it Victorian Village. There is a pattern on Etsy for this one that is also fake. This is a kit originally, and yeah, I can't find the kit anywhere. Like, yeah, I have tried, and it is from Russia. I'm sorry, I have like itchy nose. It is a kit from Russia, and as things are right now, just leave it at that. But this is where I am. I've stitched like some things, like this white over here is stitched, and like small bits and pieces, but I have mostly filled in here. So all of this is stitched, and like I have some stitches left here and like here, but most of this is stitched. It looks really good. And this piece is 170 centimeters long, so it is as long as I am, which is kind of weird to think about, but nonetheless it will look really good when it's done. This is 14 count printed Ada with all of the floss that came with the kits. Yeah, seeing this makes me want to stitch on this, because like it is so pretty, really pretty. When I stitched on this, kind of funny, because it is so long, and because I am in a in-hand stitcher, and this is kind of stiff. Like, yeah, it makes it hard for me to hold it with my hands. So what I do is that I roll it up from both sides, and I have like hair clips that I just put around the roll, and it makes it easier to work with. So that's why the edges are kind of like bent in a way, because it's usually just rolled up. But there it is. It will look good when it's done. I'm just not a focus. Okay, next up is Tutankhamun from Leonard. It's a kit. This one, it was a struggle to get hold of because no shop in Norway was selling it. So I had to actually order it from a local bookshop that had a... Like, Leonard is selling to a company. And that company was selling things to that bookshop. So I had to ask around all of the places where they sold to, and the bookshop said, oh, well, we have a deal with them. We can buy it for you. And so they did. So, because this is a unicorn project for me, it was a project that I really, really wanted. I love Egyptian things. Really, really love it. Like ancient Egyptian stuff. This is stitched 2/2 or 1/2 on 28 count printed Aida. And what that means is that I use either one strand of floss or 2 strands of floss over 2 holes in the fabric. So my crosses are using like 9 squares of the fabric instead of 4, if that makes sense. So there it is, looking really good. It also has some of the DMC metallics, like here. It's very sparkly in real life. Really like him. It's just that, yeah, the flosses came pre-cut, and I don't like the length that they are cut in. They are either too long to use both strands, like 2 strands from it, or too short to use loop method. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, but I like stitching on it. My stitches look really, really good on it. It's just that it is like that annoying length of floss in a way. I know that I am complaining a lot about my projects. I really do like them. It's just that I moved away from kits quite a lot, and I'm not a huge fan of confetti. I like confetti when it is like in eyes and stuff like that, so it makes something really, really pretty, that like a small confined area. But when it is a whole project that is confetti, I'm like, I'm not sure about this, really. Anyway, let's continue. This one is Guardian of Treasure. It is a kit from Momentos Magicos, and this one I bought from Nana. And look at him, he's stunning, and he's going to be so blinged out. Like all of the white lines here are pearl, like not pearls, like what is it called, beads. And this is braid coming down. This is a treasure. Like, oh, he's going to be so pretty when he's done. This kid I actually really, really love. Yeah, oh my god, he's going to look so good. And Nana is having the companion piece, which is a unicorn, I believe, a horse or a unicorn. And that one is going to look so good when it's done. Also, I don't think she's started it yet, but she has the kit. Yeah, oh, it's going to look so good, so good. And this is where I am. So I've started in the middle, stitched my way up to the top, and now I'm stitching my way down. And this is a 14 count white Aida. 14 count means that there are 14 holes on 1 inch of fabric. I know that I know that a lot of us stitchers use terminology that if you're new to the cross stitch world, it can be kind of hard to understand, like WIP, work in progress, UFO, unfinished project, like 14 count, 2/2, all of those words, and I'm trying to be better about explaining what it is that I mean, but it is kind of hard. But 14 count means that I have 14 holes in an inch, and 2/1 means that I use 2 strands of floss over 1 square of fabric, and CXC is just a brand of floss, and DMC is another brand of floss. Anyway, kit everything, going to look so good. Thank you, Nana, for letting me buy it. Okay, next up is one of my full-size hates. This is Egyptian Queen of the Leopards, Max Color. It is by Jan Patrick Krasny. It is going to be looking amazing when it's done. And my start on this is ginormous. Enormously disapproving. I started stitching it and felt that this is too much fabric for me to hold right now. So it is on hold until I get better. But yeah, there it is, 0.2%. Behold my beautiful start. 18 count white Ada 2/1 CXC floss. Next up is Spring Montage by Janet Stever, charted by Pain-Free Crafts. This is what it's going to look like. I have the entire montage series. I think that 3 of them are right now, and then I will get one more later on. But this is the Spring Montage. And as I said in my previous WIP, I believe it was, like, I think all of this is beautiful, but usually in these, the top one, like the top row of things, is the least exciting. I think that like this is more exciting than this, to be honest. And so, what I did is that I started top left, find color floss that I could follow down, and I got to the eggs. So I stitched the eggs because they're more exciting than square checkerboard stuff. But yeah, it is quite a large project, like that, and it is folded in half, so I have double this. But yeah, it looks so good. I really enjoy it. Like, it's going to be so good. 18 count white Ada, Permin Ada this time, CXC floss. Next up is Summer Montage. I just realized like I used some Swedish and Norwegian words interspersed, like, sorry about that. But yeah, this is Spring Montage by Janet Stever, charted by Pain-Free Crafts also. And again, like, nothing wrong with the rose, but the crab is more interesting to me, the sunflower is more interesting to me, like watermelon is more interesting. This top one here, kind of the least interesting, except for that one. But yeah. Nothing wrong with it. It's a beautiful rose, and it is a beautiful, like, this is also beautiful. It's just not as interesting as, apparently, as eggs. But yeah, there it is. And my start is this. Ta-da! So I've started in the top left corner. I've stitched, I don't know if you can see it, but I've stitched a bit up over this side and also down here. And there is nothing on the other side yet. So I am going to finish this series. It is not a priority, but a priority for me. Okay, next up, winter montage. This is my least favorite one of all of these. I know it's pretty, but like the other ones are more pretty, I think. But anyway, winter montage, Janet Stever, Pain-Free Craft. This way. Had to think about that one. There it is. 18 count white Ada, CXC floss. Okay, next up is another one of my full-size hates. This is Mermaid Hunt by Tom Wood, and she looks fierce. I love this one. Oh my god, so cool. And if you guys like go into the website and look at the mock-up of this, wow, it's looking so good. I know there's one on the Hate Facebook group that is stitching this. I'm just, oh, I want mine to be that far as well. I love this piece. Oh, God. I sit and stare at that image for a long time. I think it's so cool, like really, really cool. But this is my start on it. And again, because it is a full-size Hate, and because I use 18 count Ada, it is large, and larger things for me is hard to hold. And I know that a lot of you will be saying, why don't you change the stitch count, like use a 28 count or a 32 count or something smaller. And because I stitch using the sewing method, I noticed that if I stitch on 28 count 1/1 or 2/1, my stitches slip under the flosses in the fabric, so my stitches won't be in the place they need to be. So that's why. So the smallest that I can go down to is probably a 20 count, 22. Nothing smaller than that if it is 1/1. If it is 2/1, I have no problem with it, but then again, why stitch 2/2 when you can stitch 2/1 on like 18 count instead of 2/2 on 36 count, for instance? Like, you know, it's going to be the same size of the project in a way. And yeah, but this is my start, plus that little bit. But this one I really wish that I could stitch more on. Yeah, really, really love that project. Next up, we have Mini Childhood Sweethearts by Jim Warren. It's going to look like this, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is one of my husband's favorites. So I need to finish it one day. Yeah. And this is where I've gotten to. And as you can imagine, it is quite confetti heavy, but it looks really good. So there it is, 2/1 with CXC floss on 18 count. Looking really, really good. That is that one. I feel that I need to go a bit quicker through all of these because I am at 1 hour almost already, and I have a lot of whips still here, so I will just be a little bit more quick if that's fine. Next up, Glowing Dreams, Mini Glowing Dreams by Heaven and Earth Designs, and this is by Selena Finish. Also looking really, really good. For some people, lack of details in minis make them not want to stitch them. I think that it really depends on the image if you can stitch a mini or not. Like, I wouldn't stitch Amy Stewart's bookshelves in minis because you lose too much detail, and those things, like her images are really, really detailed. So I wouldn't be stitching one of those as mini, but like this one, you lose a lot of detail, but I think this piece in particular actually gains from not having all that much detail, kind of. Like, I like that it is a bit more blocky, at least this one. Oh, sorry about the light. But yeah. So this piece, I feel like it gains a little bit with being a bit more blocky. And here I am on it. And you all know about the DMC and the purple flosses. This project kind of suffers from that, but it is almost exclusively blue, pink, and purple in this project. But yeah, so I have mostly concentrated on her face just to see how the purples would look in, like, on it, and how much differentiation it would be with all the different purples, because some of those purples are really, really close in color. I know that I use CXE and that it can be a bit more color thing problems with the CXE, but the TMC is very similar, and I believe it will have the same problem. But I think she looks good. It's just the amount of confetti that is in this isn't showing up, really. Like, there are a lot of more work and a lot more color changes than it looks like. But I'm fine with it. It will look really good. So here it is. So here is the jellyfishes. Yeah, looking really good. Next up, Appointment with the Maker, mini Appointment with the Maker by Gothic Alchemy, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this one looks just fine as mini. Like, you don't lose too much detail, at least not for me. This is my start. All 310, like 200 stitches of it. Yeah, not that much. 18 count white data, 201 CXE floss. Okay, next up, I'm just going to do it like that. Is this. This is Christmas ornament. It's a kit that I got from a stitchy store, online stitchy store here in Norway. There they are. And they are on a plastic canvas, which I don't like because I need to use like this poke and pull method. Is it that what it's called? With it. And yeah, sorry, itchy nose. But I am on the first of the snowman. But yeah, there it is, 14 count plastic canvas. Next up is Mini Me and Moo by Lucy Pittaway, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. This one is retired, sadly. All of Lucy Pittaway is retired, but if you want to stitch Lucy Pittaway's artwork, Buffy Freds are having her things now. But yeah, it's so cute. And I have done quite a lot on this one, I must say. Here it is. Almost all of the background is done, or like the top part of the background is done, and I still have some in the bottom. But there it is. Looking really good. Yeah, kind of happy with that. 2/1 on 18 count white data. Next one is Twilight Bridge, and this is an RTO kit. I know there is a Dimensions kit that is also called Twilight Bridge, that is a Thomas Kincaid. This is not Thomas Kincaid and not the same image. yeah, there it is. And this is stitched on a 14 count black Ada. Might need a paper again. There we go. This is all I've stitched. And I need to grab a paper that's fallen down like half across the room. Hang on. And here I was thinking there wasn't going to be no more pauses. I am really, really sorry. Anyway, next one is Forest Deer. This is also a kit from RTO. And this is what it's going to look like. And here I am now. This is 14 count white Ada that came with a kit. I'm using all of the kit stuff. And this is as far as I have gotten to. Just his behind and one of the back legs, I think. I think at least this is the back leg. I have no idea, really. Yeah, it is like his knee. Like the leg is going to go like that. So that is that one. Next one is the companion piece to Tutankhamun. This is Nefertiti. This is also a Leonard kit, stitched 2/1 or 1/1, 1/2 on 28 count printed Ada. Also a real hassle to get hold of here in Norway, but I got it as a present from my husband. Really happy with that. I have the best husband, just saying. He's very understanding about my hobby, and he allows me to buy what I want when I need to. But this is where I am. That one. Right. Yeah. What I mean about my husband is like he doesn't complain about all of my whips that I have and all of the whips that I have that are kitted up, or like he doesn't care that I have 56 whips and 56 more that I've kitted up. Like that's just the way. It's like, okay, if that is what you want, then that is what you want, and you can have that if you want to. I am not going to comment on it. I'm not going to shame you for having that much things that are undone. That's fine. So yeah, I really like my husband. But yeah, there she is, one bit of her done. Next up is Free Flight from Ryolis. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this one is using like the woolen floss, and it is stitched on 14 count white Ada. And this one was from where I was getting back into cross stitch, so I didn't really care about which way my crosses lay. And it will be more apparent in the next project I'm going to show, but I stopped doing that, and now I really do care about which way my crosses go, and also which way my half crosses go. I make sure that the top leg of my half crosses, like the leg of half crosses, is the same direction as the top leg of my crosses. It means that it is a bit harder for me to do half crosses than it is normally, but it's okay. So there we are. This is like the leg of the eagle coming down and start of the tree line and like some of the background. There it is. Okay, next up is King of Beasts. This is also a Ryolis kit. And it is also stitched with a woolen floss. This is stitched on an 11 count, like really creamy Ada, 3/1. So there we go. And I don't know if you can see it, but like the crosses are going in all different directions. And with this one, I don't mind as much because this is a lion, and lion's fur isn't combed. So it looks kind of more natural, like more furry, in a way, and so that's fine. It is just that this project was so much larger than I expected it to be, like the amount of stitches in it, but yeah, I've gotten somewhere. And this project is also kind of funny because when I stitched this, like this, I didn't realize what it was, but when I look at it in the camera now, you can quite easily see that it is trees in the background. But when you stitch it, you don't realize that. But yeah, there's trees here. Next one is Autumn Landscape by Luca S. That is that one. And this is stitched on a 18 count cream pre-gridded Ada. There is the whole thing. I am complete with the first page of the pattern, and then I have jumped around quite a lot. But yeah, here it is a bit closer. Next one is also, this is a Permanent of Copenhagen. This is Vinterport or Winter Gate. This one is also one of those where you have like charms. So this is a charm that you put on, and the skis and these things are also things that you put in the frame when it's done. There is that one. And again, I have a really huge start on this. Let's see if huge start, massive. Yeah, not a priority at all. Yeah, nope. Next one is Mini Little Tommy Tittlemouse by Scott Gustafson. It is this one, Short Heaven and Earth Designs. Really cute. Really like this motif. It's, as I said, very cute. And this is where I got to. And I don't know if you can see, maybe a bit more there. There are a lot of color changes in this area, and when I bought the pattern, I thought it was going to be a bit more colorful than it is, but it is a lot of grays and really like grayish tones, like grayish green, grayish blue, especially in the top left corner where you start. It will be more colorful as I work my way through the pattern. It's just that I'm in this grayish corner and I don't want to stitch gray at the moment. I want to stitch happy things. Or actually, I have a pattern in this that I am really trying to get finished, but we will get to that. Anyway, Mini, A Cheeky Escape, also by Lucy Peter Weiss, Short by Heaven and Earth Designs. This one is also retired, and if you want to stitch her things, go to both the threads website. That is the image, and this is where I am. So I started up in the top left corner, was a really good girl, stitched my rows back and forth. Then this was kind of, basically I felt Becky's chaos energy coming towards me, and I started on the hot air, but I stitched my way down that, so it's not quite Becky chaos energy, but it is kind of chaos. It's kind of chaotic. Yeah, sorry Becky. I really like her chaos energy. It is good for me with chaos energy. Oh boy. Next up, also one of my husband's favorites apparently. I asked him the other day which one he really likes, and this one was one of the ones that he really liked apparently. Sadly, it is also my smallest art. There it is. And I am thinking about restarting just because the margins are so tight on this one, on this fabric. And I don't really know if I want to risk it with so much stitching. So I might actually just frog this one out, use this fabric for something else, and restart it on another piece of Ada. But there it is. The image is really, really good. Like, I don't blame him for liking that one. I really like this one too. Okay, next one is one of my joiner kits. It is the last one. It is this one. This one I haven't seen like an original kit from. If you happen to know if it exists, please let me know, because yeah, there it is. Really pretty, really large, really large. This is on 18 count printed Ada, and this is where I am up to. And this one, what does it say? 521 stitches by 243 stitches. So this is a large one. Open it up and show it. It isn't as large as the village one, but still, it is huge on 18 count. So yeah. So when I stitch on this one, I actually use a hoop. Just to make it a bit easier for myself. Okay, next one is my first Heaven and Earth design. This is Mini Deer Creek by Donna Gelsinger. Really pretty image, really confetti heavy, but I like it really much. I haven't stitched on this one for a really long time, but here it is. And this will sound so silly, but the Stitchketeers are stitching this one right now, and I love to see their progress. I love to see the image come to life, and I'm really jealous of their progress on it because it looks really good. But I am one of those people that if everyone is stitching on something, it makes me less likely to stitch on it, because I get kind of full of the image for a while. So what I am doing is that I am putting this on hold for a little bit until either I feel really inspired to stitch on it, or that they have come a bit further along on it, so that they aren't in the same area as me, kind of, if that makes sense. I know they are quite far and a lot ahead of me, but I kind of want the top half of the pattern for myself. It makes me sound really bad, but like, I really do love their progress on it also, but just it makes me tired of the image to see it so much, if that makes sense. I am going to stitch it. I am loving the image. It's just a bit too much right now. I sound really bad. I'm not sure how I try to explain it, but Stitchketeers, if you're watching, please continue stitching on it. I love your progress. I need to have a bit of a pause from stitching, at least with stitching it myself. But there it is. If you start stitching this one, please just bear in mind that this is a lot of confetti, and when you come past that point, it gets better. But yeah, looking really good. I'm so sorry, Stitchketeers. Oh god, what have I done? What have I said? Yeah. Anyway, this is Max Moon. It's a kit from Buzilla. I generally don't like cats, but this one was really cute. Like, oh, so cute. And all of the fur, like around the cat, is backstitch. and all of this is backstitch. And this one was also like one of the things where when I got a kit, every single strand of floss were like all tangled up in a ball. Like, yeah, it wasn't sorted. And I have looked at Flosstube for a while, and people say it's so hard to sort the flosses. It took me forever and ever, and I have been like, how hard can it be? Like, seriously, how hard can it be? I ate my words so fast. Oh my god. It was so hard, terrible. It took me 2 hours to sort the flosses, and I'm not sure that I'm right at all. But at the same time, I think that if I, with my eyes, can't see any difference between two colors, I don't think that anyone else will either. They're so similar to each other, it won't matter. But I ate my words. And actually, I ate my thoughts so fast. It is so hard. But there it is. There it is. He's looking really cute. Really like him. Beautiful little kitty. Next one is Lynx on a Walk. And I can't remember who made this kit, but there it is. And this is my progress. Yeah, not much. Let's move on. 14 count data. This is Minnie Got a Secret by Chris Ortega, shirted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Really pretty. I believe Hallie from Stitching Big Things with Hallie is stitching the regular size version of this. It looks good. Oh, but I'm stitching the mini. Here it is. Not much. I will get back to this one day. 18 count, 2/1, full cross. This one is a new stock from my last video. This is called Mini Dream Dance Precipice. It is by Pui Munlo, shirted by Heaven and Earth Design. And for some reason, I really like her images. The Heaven and Earth Design recently charted one of her newer pieces with a man standing and looking out, and there are like things flying in the air. It's quite blue, and it's kind of the same gradient as this one, and I really love it. I was this close from buying the regular version, but I know that I won't be able to stitch it, and so I'm just hoping that it will come as a mini one day. The whole thing with Heaven and Earth Designs, where you need to request for a different version of the shirt to be shirted, I'm not a big fan of that. You after that need to buy the pattern as well. So first you pay for the shirt to be shirted, and then you need to buy the shirt as well. Like, I'm not being a big fan of that. I think that if you I would have been okay with it if it was that you asked her, paid for her to shirt the shirt, and you actually got the shirt as well in the same like price. It was a bit more perhaps, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, so I won't be doing that. So I'm just fingers crossed that it comes as a mini, because yeah. But there is my start. So this is at 10%, I think. And I really loved stitching this. Like, in the image it looks like it's going to be all white and stuff, but it isn't. It's really quite dark. and you get really fast, you get really fast into like the greens and the yellows, and then I continue stitching down. So this is the bottom of the pattern. Looks really good. Look at it. Really good. Really enjoyed that one. Okay. Yeah, all of my gaming stuff is kind of at the end here, I believe. It is that much. It hasn't been that much gaming things up until now. All the Hades and the Kids and stuff, but not that many gaming things. But here is Mario Galaxy, charted by Needlemind Lair on Etsy. Which is funny because this is clearly not from Mario Galaxy. This is Mario Odyssey with Cappy and Mario. But anyway, here it is. Ta-da! Also, if I am wrong with the whole hate thing, just please let me know, and I will apologize if I'm wrong. But that is how I have kind of understood that it works. But I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, please correct me. But anyway, this is Mario Odyssey, Mario Galaxy, but Mario Odyssey. Looks really good. Next one is Zelda Twilight Princess, also from Needlemind Lair. This is what it's going to look like, and it is one of the few patterns that I could find with Midna, her. And she is my absolute favorite character of all time in any Zelda game. She is so sassy. Love her. So if you find any pattern with her in it, her in them, please let me know. But anyway, here is where I am. This right here is Link's eye. Yeah, next one is Pokemon Generation 1 from Lord Lebidian. This is a free pattern on the website, and this is where I am. I am really sorry, I feel that my energy is quite low, so I'm just going to try to finish this as soon as possible, because I feel that, like I say, my energy is kind of dipping down, so I'm really sorry if I'm not as energetic and as chatty as I was in the start. Just, yeah, I'm sorry. This one is called, what is it called? Golf Play Watercolor, and it is charted by Light Unicorn Designs on Etsy, and this is one of, this one has one of the printed fabrics that I was talking about with Vivi, and it is from Easy Stitch for Fun on Etsy, is the fabric. And that is what it's going to look like. And here I am with him. I was doing a challenge for myself with this one, where I stitched 20 stitches for every par, 30 stitches for birdie, and 50 stitches for eagle when Victor Hovland was golfing. I could be wrong about those numbers, but as soon as I said it in my video, I didn't want to do it anymore. So I am really careful of not saying my plans out loud, because if I do, I will change them. Sorry. But this is on a green printed Ada, and this is not true to color at all. Like, it is, oh, it is bright. This is like lime green Ada. It is really, really, really bright. It's so blown out. But yeah, like, oh, you kind of got a glimpse of it there. See? It is really light, almost yellowy green. It's really, really bright. Anyway, this is Pumpkin Color Autumn by Old Forest Embroidery. This is a free pattern on their website. And I am stitching it with CXC with the DMC conversion. And this is where I am. This is also a printed 18 count Ada from Stitch for Fun on Etsy. And this is where I am. Some things are kind of blending into the fabric, but I think it's fine. And also, this is also quite blown out. Like you get a glimpse of how the color is, but not quite. Next one is Mini Holiday Magic from Lori Prindle, Shirt of Heaven and Earth Designs. And when you look at this image, you can't really tell, like your brain isn't thinking about it, but there is actually a frame around the image that is shirted and supposed to be stitched. And the frame, I tried to do the frame first, and got really far of that and got tired of it, and then I started filling in like the inside of the frame instead. No, that is fine. Plans are made to be broken, right? Okay, next one is a shirt that I shirted myself using Floss Cross. This is without a doubt the pattern that me and my husband love the most. It is truly our favorite one, and it is because it is of my dog. This is my dog Bella. She is the most loved. She is so lovely. She is also really stubborn and annoying sometimes, but she is so loved in this house. The only thing, this one is using DMC floss, because of course it is. I needed to use DMC for her. But like, she is a black dog. And there you go. There you might be able to see something more than just a dark blob. But there are a lot of different colors in her. There are some purples, there are some greens, a lot of browns and black. And she looks really good stitched up. The only thing is that this is on 20 count, 2/1. And because I'm so used to stitching on 18 count, 2/1, it kind of messes up my technique a bit. Like I said, I use the sewing method, so I stitch with one hand, kind of. And because there is like a 0.5 millimeter difference in where the holes are on this one, it really messes with me. Like 14 count, no problem. 16 count, no problem. 18 count, my favorite, but 20 count, for some reason, messes a lot with my head. Like, truly does. But here she is in all of her glory. I am quite far now. I really love, like, look at those eyes. They're really, really beautiful. I am, of course, biased on this. Please agree with me. But she is, wow. Beautiful. Again, charted by using Floss Cross. It's a free charting program that you can find on the internet, and it works in Pattern Keeper, no problem. As long as you need to tick a box in it, and it will work on Pattern Keeper. Yeah. Next one is Hollow Knight by Lorem Stitch on Etsy. I believe that it is now another company that has this pattern instead, that this might be a fake one, a copy one. I am kind of unsure as to who was the original one and who wasn't, but this is at least Hollow Knight and Queer. It is a very iconic scene from that game. And I am halfway done. I'm more than halfway done, but like here is the halfway mark on the pattern. So this one is one that I want to finish as soon as possible. I have one other one that is more of a priority than this one, but this one I really, really want to finish because it is not that much left, and yeah. It is very iconic and it uses 9 different colors. So if you want an easier pattern to stitch, highly recommend this one. Next one is Zelda Breath of the Wild from Needle My Lair on Etsy. This is what it's going to look like when it's finished. And this is where I am. And this pattern is one of those, when you see it like from afar, you can see his face and his profile of his face quite well. But when you are stitching it, like you do, and you sit this close, it is quite hard. But yeah, he looks good. Next one up is Minnie the Universe in a Jar by Randall Spangler. If it wants to stay up. There it is. Really pretty, really cute. I really like this image, and I really like the Cosmic Dreams. Is it the other one that is kind of the same themed with universes in jars? I think it is. Jantina from the Stitchketeers, one of the Stitchketeers has finished the companion one, like the Cosmic Dreams one as a mini. It looks amazing. It looks really, really good. And that she finished that one actually inspired me to stitch more on this one. Like, isn't that strange? Like, I complain about them stitching on Deer Creek and me not wanting to stitch on it because I see too much. And then one of them stitches something and finish one, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to stitch more on this one. It's weird how thoughts work, I guess. But yeah, really inspired to start it and to stitch on it. Because when she finished hers, I hadn't started mine, but I had it kitted up. But there you go. This is my start. This is the part of the window. It's just 939. Or is it? Yeah, it's 939. There we go. It's going to look really cute when it's done. It's just a long way there. Next one is The Animal Kingdom by Amy Stewart. This is one of her bookshelves. Regular size. As I said, I won't be stitching these as minis because there are too much detail that would get lost in these. Yeah. And again, because it is a full-size height, it is quite large. It's a lot of fabric for it, and I can't hold that much fabric. So this one, it is the one that is furthest along, I think, but of my regular size heights, but not stitching on it. But there it is. Top left corner. Next one up is Autumn Montage by Janet Stever, Paint from Craft. This is the last of the montage series. And again, like, this is more interesting than this, to me, at least. It is completely fine to have a different opinion. That's just my opinion. And here I am. I know there is a lot of people on Flosstube and on Instagram that are stitching this series, and yeah, it looks really good. It's a really nice series, but this one I have actually stitched a lot on in the top left corner, even though it's the most boring one to me. Then I got tired of that, went down into the flower. There it is. Okay, only 2 left. The next one is a sal that I am having with Nana, the Crafty Shield Maiden, and Becky Got Craft here on Flosstube and on Instagram. And we call it the Big Eye Girl Sal. The BEG, Big Sal. Yeah. This one. This is Minnie, the Little Match Girl. Me and Becky are stitching this one together. And then Nana is stitching, is it 20-sided dice fairy? Or is it the 12-sided? I think it is the 20-sided dice fairy that Nana is stitching. But it is by Jasmine Beckett-Griffith, both of them. And they have huge eyes. And it's a girls. It's a me, Mario. It's a girls. No, it's girls. So it is the Big Eye Girl Sal. And yeah, looking really good. It's going to look really good. And this one I'm kind of proud of my progress of, because look at that. Look at that eye. Oh, wow. And again, Becky Chaos Energy. As you have seen in my progress, I stitch my way to things. Not in this case. Didn't stitch to this place. Didn't stitch down as I normally do. I just jumped around. And I hope and cross my fingers that it's right. Look at that. Look at that eye. Isn't it cool? Like, so cool. And lastly is my new start. I started this in the beginning of June, and it is, as I said, in Norway DMC is quite expensive, so I got all of the DMC for this one as a really early birthday gift from my husband. My birthday is in December, just for a comparison how early this birthday present was. But I looked at the pattern and I wanted to stitch it right away, so he gave me the floss. It is Dragon, Dance of Lake Depths. It is, the artist is Tatiana Verkhovskaya, and it is charted by Nadgavr, and the shop is Sofia M. Belenko on Etsy. So here it is. Isn't it amazing? It is amazing. And this is where I am. So I am at 70% done. It is 12,000 stitches left in it. Oh my god, look. So this is the one that I'm currently focusing on stitching the most of. Of course, as soon as I said it, I might not do it, but yeah, I had a monogamous June, let's say, because this is a lot of stitches. But so pretty, so beautiful. Truly am. So there it is. That is all of my whips. Hopefully you liked some of them. And I do apologize. I really didn't mean anything bad about the Mini Deer Creek stuff and the Stitchketeers. I really love their channels. I absolutely love all the three of them that have Flosstubes, and also Alice. Really absolutely love their channels. Yeah, and also if I'm wrong with the Hade and the custom shirting things, please let me know, because if that isn't the case, I would like to have that one shirted as a mini for myself. As you might can tell, it has been 1 hour and 40 minutes of recording. I am really tired, and all of the energy that I had in the start is now gone, and I need to lay down on the sofa. So I really hope that you liked what you saw. I normally film once every month around the 1st, because that is the easiest way, the easiest time for me, because I normally have a lot of numbers, and my numbers I fill in my charts the 1st of every month. So that is why. Now when it's summer, like in August, I know I won't come home at the 1st of August, or at least I won't have access to all of my projects that date. And if I am home, my husband will also be home, so I won't be filming anything then. So the next one that I am going to film will be in September, the 1st of September, I hope. No promises. I really hope that all of you will have a lovely summer. Enjoy the warmer weather if you are in the northern hemisphere, and enjoy the colder weather if you are in the southern hemisphere. Hopefully it won't be too extreme in either way, neither too hot or too cold. Yeah, have a lovely day. Take care. Bye.